Sadistic Penguin Studios presents the At the Show podcast with Tom Yumper Garcia.
Okay, you people sit tight, hold the fort, and keep the home fires burning. And if we're not back by dawn, call the president.
And Tony Chalsa Burt.
I don't know this industry jargon, YP, MP, whatever, okay? All I know is that I cannot get a record contract. We cannot get a record contract unless I take these tapes.
It's almost time, so grab a drink, get your popcorn ready, and join the film discussion with two guys from Chicago talking movies.
Yeah, a little thriller there. Hello, and welcome to episode 101 of the At the Show podcast. I am Tom Yumper Garcia, and I'm with my other co-host, Tony the Sugar Baggy Burt. How you doing today, my man?
Doing really good. I'm only laughing because Katie looked at me just a little while ago. Wouldn't it be funny if you guys started with Thriller playing, and then that's when you had the video? I said, "Me, she was on to something tonight." So that was awesome putting that video at the beginning. I'm doing well. Glad to be here. Even before we get started here, I wanted to thank you, my good man. My package came in the mail today.
Oh, nice.
I owe you big. Right over here is my Cool Light, Dawn of the Dead classic. We're getting right ready for that season 2. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. If I get extra ones, I'll send them to you.
Awesome.
Lucked out, and I figured you're a big movie guy like me. We love horror movies, so why not send them to you?
Put some color in my wall. I love it. How you doing, my man?
I'm all right. I'm just glad to get the show started. I'm glad to talk movies to start off my weekend. It's always a good palate cleanser.
Yes.
It's always good to have a good lead into my Saturday and Sunday.
Yes.
Before the Bears ruined it on Sunday.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But we just had a epic 2.5 hour episode last week celebrating our 100th anniversary, our 100th show, our big burrito, as they say in the Mexican language. No, it was really good. I had a lot of fun. Thanks to everybody that came on and helped us out. Cotton, Sam, Baloney, Miss Jackie helped us out to come on and talk some movies with us, talk about they're defending and things like that. It was really, really fun. And I say it didn't even feel like a pod. It just mostly felt like us just laughing at people the whole time.
It was fun. It's always cool to hear different opinions, especially on those movies we talked about. Because, I don't know if you'd ever ask me to do a full episode on like Fast and the Furious. So I don't know how often we're going to talk about those movies. So it's cool to sometimes dig into movies we might not always talk about.
Or we might have to tag in the Baloney to do it.
Oh yeah. Which would be fun.
But today we're going to be discussing to the 5 and 5 format some thriller films that we like. Some you heard of and some you haven't. Some that don't get recognition like they should. And then some that people might argue are not thriller films. But this is our opinion. I mean, you have yours. We're just here to have some fun. But with that tone, let's just jump right into it, my friend, and go into what we've been watching this week.
Let's do it.
That's a me. And also, what were you just watching?
So what were you watching this week, my friend?
All right. I've watched 2 movies this week. First up is a 1981 action thriller. I did not put it in my list, but I always enjoyed this movie for multiple reasons. First, I was just so blown away the first time. I think I was like 14 to see this movie that Sly had a beard. It's like the only movie he's really rocking any serious facial hair, which is very interesting. And number 2, we talk about the man all the time on the show, but Mr. Rutger Hauer as the bad guy. It's a film actually follows a pair of terrorists who come to New York City, and Billy D. Williams and Sylvester Stallone are partners trying to bring down these international terrorists, one of them being Rutger Hauer. Just really awesome action, a really kind of under the radar film, one that my dad watched a lot, but also at the same time, checking out its budget at a $5 million budget. It took in $19 million for that time. Not terrible. but it's just a really kind of a cool movie and a different performance for Sly, because Sly's generally like, I love Cobra, but even in Cobra, he's like very alpha, taking over and stuff. In this movie, it's more of like there is some vulnerability, which is really, really great. And if you go and you get an opportunity to check this one out, if you haven't, I definitely suggest it.
Yeah, this is a early Sly film, like a 80, I think it's like
81.
1980.
81.
Yeah, I haven't seen this one in a very, very long time. I do remember Rucker Hauer being in it. It's like one of my first introductions to Rucker Hauer, and I think it's like Europe Tourist or something like that, right?
Yeah, he's and there's this. Not to give anything away. I mean, you could
Yeah.
imagine at the end, unfortunately, Rudger doesn't survive. I mean, if you can't put that
What?
together, but the way it all goes down is great. Sly is, Rudger's coming into the kitchen and he thinks he's going to attack this lady. And unfortunately, the lady turns around and it's Sly with the wig on and
Oh
like
my
the
God.
whole thing, and he shoots Rudger, and that's kind of how he gets it. But it's classic cheesiness. Just a good movie to check out. So,
Yeah, just for hearing that, I have to watch this again.
I think honestly, you might even put that in a clip to keep showing on here. Yeah, because it's right there with you Goody.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Plot twist.
Plot twist. And also, I've been watching, because it's been on TV a couple times on Showtime, has been Pulp Fiction. And we all know how much I enjoy that movie, but when I watch movies a lot, I just start to try to pick things I never really notice more. And this movie is just really cool in a lot of different ways. I think there's like a guerrilla style filmmaking along with the cameras which he's using, which is really awesome. But the whole entire what's the word I'm looking for? The whole entire Bruce Willis breakdown in the movie, I just think is really, 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 for the time period, I think Quint really went for it. And not only that, but there's some dialogue with Harvey Keitel that is hilarious. Like some of the funniest dialogue in a lot of movies that I've seen. But I know you've seen Pulp Fiction. I think you enjoy it, right?
Oh, extremely. Probably one of the best, I guess, kind of noir films I could think about. Great. We just discussed the contract last week.
Mhm.
But so many great pieces tied together. A masterpiece in directing, a masterpiece in acting. It's revived careers of John Travolta. Samuel L. Jackson was nominated for an Oscar, as well as Travolta for his film. It's where so many things spawned in parodies, from The Simpsons to like they're still doing it today. Just awesome stuff. I mean, I can talk about it forever.
I still just laugh. I mean, the only thing I can always say, and this is probably everything else somebody can say, my claim to fame I could always say is that my dad took me to go see this movie at the movie theater. And to this day, I don't even know if he knew what I was getting involved with. All I remember, and back to the Bruce Willis scene, was when that all came up, he obviously knew what was going to happen, because he says, "Cover your eyes. You don't want to see this." Because I mean, I was only in, what year did this movie come out? 94? I mean, I'm 12.
Yeah.
So what? I mean, how old's your son? Is he 9? I mean, just think in 3 years you're taking him to see this movie, which is just mind blowing to go from what he's watching now to that. And honestly, if I don't see that movie with him at that time, I don't think I'm even here doing a podcast with you. Because to me, it was like seeing the Beatles the first time, because you're into this, and now watching it now, it's just really cool. It's different than a lot of movies. It is vulgar. But I think that's what he was going for.
Definitely. It was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
And then all the shots, they had it in Reservoir Dogs from the ground up, the perspective. You have it in here. You have everybody saying what was in the briefcase. They still talk about that today. I've heard tons of theories on that. So many great one-liners in this film too. The joke she tells. What's the famous Samuel Jackson's line? Does Marcellus look like a bitch? And I strike down with furious anger. This is a tasty burger. There's so many good things in this film.
Well, it's the way it's like that's why the guy enjoyed Weapons so much is that being able to almost have 7 pots going on the burners and you're bringing them to boil at different times and all that. It's just a cool, different type of filmmaking.
Yeah, a classic, man. Instant classic.
What have you been
well,
watching, my good sir?
So I threw on Crash because I wanted to see does it still hold up? It's a movie that came out, I believe, in '04. It was highly acclaimed at the time. It won the Oscar for Best Picture. It actually won 3 Oscars that year. But one of them was Best Picture, and then it won for Best Screenplay. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, I don't think it should have won that year." And I was like, it was a good film to me. I liked it a lot. But I wanted to see, did it hold up? And it's okay. It's you know what? I thought after looking at it and going back and seeing what films were in for the Best Picture, I don't know if Crash would have won. You know, um, it was just a strange one to me that it won during this year, but it's a good film. I enjoyed it. I think it touches on a lot of racial tones, a lot of social things that still do happen today, and it has a good kind of semi good story, but also like they try to do the twist with Lorenz Tate being the brother to John Cheadle in the film, and I'm like, now that I think about it, I don't know if it played out that well. It has a pretty decent soundtrack that I like, but I don't know, man. Have you seen Crash recently? What do you think about it? Did it hold up?
Well, first, I'm glad that I picked the right Crash because I don't know if you know about the one in the '90s with James Spader where he crashed his cars, and I was like, I don't think that's the one you want. I think it's this one, so I'm glad I got that. Number 2, I'm looking here at the Best Picture before I tell you my thoughts. Which one would you have picked in this year? Out of Munich, Good Night and Good Luck, Capote, Brokeback Mountain, and Crash.
So I really like Good Night and Good Luck. I think that movie has aged like fine wine. I love the cinematography of it, so that probably would have been my pick. Brokeback Mountain probably would have been a close second, and I think Crash would have been probably my 3rd best film that year.
This is a very, like, again, I remember seeing all these movies, and when Crash, I was actually going to ask you because how you thought Crash aged. A lot of good movies this year, but I think Crash is just like one of those movies that was like made in a certain time period, and it only sticks in that time period a little bit. There's good performances in it, but is it better than some of these others? Like, honestly, I mean, I like Capote. Now looking back, I mean, I might even have given it to Brokeback Mountain over Crash. I mean, if we're making the statements that we're trying to make, Brokeback Mountain made a better statement than Crash did. I could be wrong on that.
I think so too. I mean, it was, and then thinking about the time, it was still a pretty big leap, for filmmaking. And Ang Lee, and he's also a U of I guy, so I love Ang Lee. But yeah, I mean, Crash was a good film. I think it still is a good film. I just think that it's kind of set in that time. I don't think it's aged as gracefully as the other ones. And
Good Night and Good Luck. That's an awesome movie. And to be fair, if you were ever like, let's do a 5 and 5 with David Strathairn, I'd be like, yes, because I think he's a great actor, and I liked how he got the lead in that movie.
Yeah. And I just love the cinematography of it. It's a George Clooney film too, which is
Downey Jr. is in it too. I forgot about that.
Jeff Daniels as well.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But I also, since it is coming time to October, I decided to check out The Conjuring 2. Now, I know you were asking us in text about The Conjuring Dead Last Rites. I have not seen any of the Conjuring films besides the first one.
Okay.
Reason being is it's more of a personal thing with me. the Warrens, who the film's based off, I'm really into paranormal, like podcasts. I do a lot of reading on paranormal stuff, ghosts and stuff. Um, they're not really well liked in the paranormal community because a lot of people say they were kind of scam artists.
Hmm.
So everything that I watch is with a grain of salt. Now, The Conjuring 2, did I think it was a horrible movie? No. Um, nowhere near. I've seen a lot worse B horror movies. I thought it was interesting. It wasn't really scary to me. I watched this actually with my mom, who's a big horror fan, and she didn't think it was scary. There was some cool parts with the way they kind of made the old man look and whatnot. And I've heard of this case it's based on. Now, it's based on the Enfield case in Britain. And the crazy thing is, while I'm watching this film, like I realized like none of this shit really happened. I understand that a lot of stuff is for Hollywood. I totally get that. I mean, you have to make it more for a movie. But the fact that they made the Warrens the people that solved this case kind of didn't make any sense because they were kicked out of the house by the family, and then the family was assumed accused of faking it, which they kind of touched on that a little bit in the film. But they just basically made this film with the nun in it to make another spin-off of the nun, which is not a true story. So
there's a lot. That's really what I wanted. You could have just said it seems to be a lot, and honestly, it's too much. I fell asleep during the first Conjuring, and I saw someone comment recently. Sometimes I try to give movies a couple chances to like it, and they were like, "That's stupid. You can't like a movie after." These movies just seem a lot, and I really would like to like it because, like Annabelle, it's like, oh, is this going to be like Chucky? It's not really like Chucky at all. It's more slow burn. I don't know. You might like the Annabelle series, or is this how you feel about all of them all together?
I haven't seen any of them except this one, so I'm gonna watch the other ones.
You know what? That's good because maybe this is good. Don't waste your time on this. Maybe.
But the Annabelle, the doll does not look like the real Annabelle doll is a Raggedy Ann doll.
Oh, so okay. And number two, I mean, to give all fairness to the movie series, though, I guess the new one broke the some kind of horror film record, but I don't know if that's just people wanting to go see a horror film or.
I mean, people could really be into it because I've heard for the first one, when I saw the first one, it was okay. But I was reading people were saying that it was scarier than The Exorcist, and I'm like, no. I mean, it didn't affect me the same way, but it might have affected other people. But I think of like when horror films have that really, really like big, first film, it spawns the sequels, and the sequels sometimes don't tend to be good. I put like the Conjuring series, even though it's not a found footage film, in the Paranormal Activity films. So the second one was okay, and then we're going to the third one, and I'm like, okay, how long is this gonna? And you know what I mean? And then that's what I'm kind of getting the vibes here. I will watch the third one, Tone, because the next one is the Nun, so I guess I have to watch the prequel, the spinoff.
Yeah, I gotta watch. So this is the fourth one. This new one, isn't it?
The new one, I don't know. I think there's like 9 movies to be honest.
So you got a key? Yeah, you're gonna go all the way.
Yeah, there's like so. The one that intrigued me for this film too was this is by James Wan. He directed this film. I like James Wan.
That's good.
He does Saw. He did Saw. He did that, which is a great film. He did the original Conjuring. He did Insidious, which I really liked. And even Saw. Like if you look at it, Saw kind of had its own little run. And apparently there's a Nun Part 2. What the fuck?
There is. There's a couple other little spin-offs, I'm pretty sure, isn't there? Isn't there another spin-off of all this too? You got Annabelle, you got the Nun, you got the Conjuring. That's a lot of. How many Annabelles are there? 2 or 3?
I don't even know, man. There's just too many of them. Annabelle Comes Home. Like, okay, there's 9 movies. That's all I know.
Well, that's a lot.
So I'm on 2, so I got 7 more.
You don't want to be sitting watching that.
I did watch another film. That's how I felt.
That's what I'm saying. You don't want to be like that.
I did watch another film. I didn't mention it to you, but I actually watched it today while I was
What'd you watch?
Getting slammed at work for coding and whatnot. But I watched Angel Heart with Mickey Rourke. And
yeah.
I haven't seen that film in like maybe 5 or 6 years. I knew I wrote a blog on Robert De Niro's best roles. And like they're underrated. And man, he plays the devil so well in that film.
I think I lost a friend once because like he came over and I was like, "You want to watch a movie?" And I'm like, "Let's watch Angel Heart." And this guy really never watched movies, and Angel Heart's out there. And I think he thought that these were the type of movies I watch, were like all movies like Angel Heart. I love Angel Heart. That's a great movie.
Yeah, it's one of those. It gives me a lot of Jacob Ladder vibes.
Yes.
And I think it's some of Mickey Rourke's like best work in as terms of an actor. And also he looks completely different than he is now, man.
He looks
Plastic
bad
surgery
now.
really got him, man. But yeah, so check out Angel
Just
Heart.
the whole, yeah, I mean, I don't even want to give away the twist on that because it's just a really good movie.
Yeah, very, very good. So that's what we watched this week. Let us know what you watched over at the Show Pod on Twitter. You can let us know in the Facebook comments as well as the YouTube comments what you watched this week. Tone, we had a bunch of back of the VHS boxes last week.
Yes.
So we most of our guests got their answers correctly. So I'm gonna give you one today, and these are gonna be one-liners. So they're not gonna be as long, but I want to see if you can guess this one. Okay.
Okay.
The bat, the beat fakes pops. The bat, the beat fakes pops. The bat, the beat fakes pops.
Okay, this is a 90s movie, Tony. Okay. A weekend fling turns into a nightmare when she refuses to be ignored.
90s?
Yeah, and it's not the one you picked.
The Basic Instinct?
Yes.
I love these movies. These are, again, my wheelhouse.
Yes, that's why I did with the 90s, man.
90s. Loved 90s.
Yes. So one thing I do want to talk to you about, though, Tone, is I did see one thing for news and rumors is that they're actually directing a Elden Ring film is coming out. Did you hear about this?
No, I did not.
So you know what Elden Ring is, right?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
So yeah, the film, I guess, is being directed by Alex Garland.
Ooh, good director.
It's been written by him, George R. Martin, and Hidekata Miyaxi. I'm sorry if I said that incorrectly. Take a drink if I pronounced something wrong. But it's based off the video game, and I love that game. It's like one of the last games I actually played a lot of, and I'm actually really looking forward to seeing how they do this. I hope it's not like a Lord of the Rings type feel, but if they can do something epic like a dark fantasy, I'm totally down for that.
And I think it would go without if we didn't talk about the sad passing of Graham
Greene.
Graham Greene, yeah.
Yeah, that also I want to bring up. Great native actor in so many great films. I fell in love with Graham in Thunderheart, but he's done so much more for the community. He was a very, very big, prominent voice within the Lakota and indigenous communities. Really, really gone way, way too soon. I mean, he was only 73, and 70 is the new 60 nowadays. But I guess he was struggling with the sickness that nobody really knew about, except his close friends. But phenomenal actor. I saw a whole bunch of tributes to him, from Matthew McConaughey to I even saw Jackie Earle Haley posted a tribute to him. Just a great dude. Kind thoughts about Graham Greene, Tone?
I mean, honestly, you just said it. I mean, immediately I just think of I think I told you within the last couple months, watched Thunderheart again. Just badass. And then looking up his films, he was in some other movies too that I forgot about. He's in like The Green Mile, I believe, and some other things. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Maverick. He's in Maverick.
Oh man, that's actually not a bad movie either.
Yeah, he's in a lot of smaller, like he's in smaller roles, but great phenomenal actor. Like open the door for a lot of indigenous actors going forward.
Yeah.
He was in I don't like the film, but was he in Dance with Wolves?
He was, and I was going to ask because I'd actually never seen that movie, and I was going to ask you, is he any good in it? But he's got to be because anything he's in. But
yeah, he's good in it. The film's not bad. I just don't like the premise of it.
See, and I honestly, if you were like, "What's the premise, Tony?" You'd have to tell me because all I
he was
and later
for an
you
Oscar.
could tell me what
He was nominated for an Oscar for it.
Yeah, well, that's awesome.
Yeah. But R.I.P. to Graham Greene. No, great actor. There'll never be another like him. and just thankful for opening door for other Native actors to
Mhm.
come forward. Also, he was quite hilarious. Hilarious guy.
He was he was funny in Thunderheart.
Yeah. Crow Horse, fuck you. But
The wind says you were going 60
yeah,
or whatever he
yeah,
said.
yeah. He's like, I love when he gives him the fifth degree on his shoe size.
Oh,
You got a little 22 in your belt, but you wear these shoes that are way too tight on you, but you wear them because they look so cool. Yeah.
that's awesome.
Before we get to our films, we just want to shout out for a little plug here for our store. We have a store, yes, we do, with some awesome designs. Some from my significant other. We got some awesome stickers with the Sadistic Penguin. We got cool shirts from a new Mega Man shirt that got released, a new Bears themed shirt that got released, a new I Can't adult shirt that got released. We have a sale going on right now for 10% off all month. If you want to check it out, if you guys want to check it out, I actually went and got our bottle opener, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's actually got two parts, one for twist offs and one for popping off
Oh,
the
that's
bottles.
nice.
So it actually is a magnet, so it sticks to your fridge, so you don't ever have to worry about finding it. We got wall art, we got stuff for Dia de los
pretty
Muertos
cool.
out there. We even got coffee from Roastify. I have ordered that to see how it is. And I won't lie to you. And we have these awesome shirts that actually got this one, which is the Eat, Sleep, Squawk, and Repeat shirt
That is
that we have.
awesome.
So be sure to check out the Sadistic Penguin.printify.me. All proceeds go to the show and just help us run our website. And we really appreciate all of your support, including for the old Mr. Spagnola. He wanted me to drop a Halloween shirt, which I did, called Fight or Fright. Flight or
Oh,
Fright,
that's pretty cool.
with various penguin-esque movie monsters chasing our friend the penguin there. So be sure to check us out at sadisticpenguin.printify.me. And this will be the only ad for the show.
Real quick before we move on to our films, got something a little fun for you here, Yump. Are you you want to play?
Yes, sir.
All right, I got a horror movie clip. I saw this online this week, and I'd never seen this movie. And let's see if you had seen this movie. I'm gonna play the clip from the movie. Here it is.
Yeah! Yeah!
Oh my God, I know this movie.
I seen this GIF, and the person is flying through the window, and I was like, "What is this movie?" I'll give you a hint. It's a sequel.
Oh,
And the kid at the end kind of gave it away. If you look at the kid, just think of a movie with a sequel with,
Children of the Corn.
yep, Children of the Corn 2, which I thought was very hilarious. The way that old lady flew through the window. It was somewhere between Gremlins and ridiculousness. And now I think I'm going to sit down this weekend and actually watch that full movie because it looks ridiculous.
It reminded me of that movie Mac and Me.
That's exactly that was. And but thanks for playing, Yump. That was fun.
Yes. But with that, Tom, let's move into the films, man. We got 10 films we want to discuss that are thrillers. Now, these are our own opinions. I thought it was Leprechaun 2 film check. These are our opinions. Some of these films you might not consider thrillers, but they are thrillers if you look them up. Some of them are our favorites, and some of them are films that don't get mentioned a whole lot when we think of the thriller genre. But with that, Tone, let's get into our first film, my friend.
Let's do it.
You got your Rebecca, your Delilah, your blah, 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 whatever. Everything you asked for, you've got it. And it is better this way. Because I suck at this. Bad shit happens to people I care about. Understand me?
2017's Logan, directed by James Mangold, who did A Complete Unknown, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Ford versus Ferrari, The Wolverine, 3:10 to Yuma, Walk the Line, Identity, and Copland has a few films. This film stars Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, Daphne Keane, Boyd Holbrook, and Stephen Merchant. It had a budget of $97 million and a box office of $619 million. This film, to me, is a thriller that I think doesn't really get considered a thriller because it's more of a comic book movie that people think is from comic books. It's more of a graphic novel film based off the Old Man Logan series, which is basically in a period where Logan's an old man. Although it changes from there because it has Hawkeye with him. This film doesn't have that. But it's probably one of the best Marvel films that I can think of, if not the best, in my opinion. Hugh Jackman is phenomenal in it. Patrick Stewart is phenomenal in it. It pulls at your heartstrings with the relationship between Hugh Jackman and Daphne Keane. It has everything you want from action to dramatization between the relationship to where you don't know what's going to happen. It has a sad ending. It's really, really done very, very well. James Mangold really knocked out of the ballpark for this one. It made a lot of money, and eventually, this was supposed to be the retiring film of the Wolverine character until, of course, the Deadpool and Wolverine movie came out. You could say so many good things about the film. It's pushed for R rating, which it should be. It should have been. It's minimalized CGI in this film, which is something that I love. I love more practical effects because I think it feels more real. And when it comes to films that have these mutants with powers, having less CGI and green screen makes it feel more real because they're supposed to be like real people. It used the Johnny Cash's "Hurt" and the trailer that really pulled me in and really wanted me to watch it. Just so many cool things. It was a movie that I had high expectations going into, and I did not come away disappointed. Just great stuff from Patrick Stewart and from Hugh Jackman. I could watch them all day. I know they're getting old, especially Patrick Stewart, but it was great to see them like for one real big last hoorah in the Logan series. What'd you think about Logan, Tone?
Really cool. I think it's, like earlier I brought up the Nighthawks movie, action thriller. Then call it a comic book thriller. If that's what it is. I mean, people think it's comic book because the truth of the matter is it's a different type of movie than all the other comic book movies. The way Logan is portrayed, and I'm just an outsider watching these movies, and just the people who I talk to who are comic book fans are like, this is different, this isn't your normal movie, which I think is what really kind of leans it more towards that thriller genre, is because it's not as cartoony, it's real, and what's going on in it is serious. I mean, when you use Johnny Cash's "Hurt" in the first trailer, you're saying to yourself, it's not no joking type of movie.
Yeah, and I think it's grimy. It's played very, very well. It's pulls at your heartstrings, man. And I think people will say, "Oh, Endgame did the same thing with the way it did the Tony Stark character," but I think this pulled more because I kind of really felt bad for Logan in this film because he even says in that little opening clip we had, people just around him just die. Spoiler alert: the professor dies, and he doesn't want the person he gets close to is Daphne Keane, who's X-23, and he doesn't want anything to happen to her. And it's like him trying to take care of her as he goes forward. So it was just a really, really good, I guess, retirement of the character for the time. I know he said that he did it because, one, he was getting older, two, he had skin cancer, and then this is a shit that rocked my mind, is the fact that he spoke to Jerry Seinfeld about this. And he advised him, maybe it's time to hang it up. I guess Jerry was talking about his Jerry character from Seinfeld. But later he returned. So it was a good little send off. I didn't think Wolverine versus Deadpool was bad, but I just hope they don't torture the character like like Marvel is known to.
I mean, when you're in the hands of a good director like James Mangold, I mean, I'm just staring at the film list here, and you could just say 3:10 to Yuma, Walk the Line, Identity, and Copland are 4 incredible movies. And then you add in Wolverine, Ford vs. Ferrari, the amazing Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, right? Did you say amazing?
Amazing.
And then a Complete Unknown. You know, you say you're in the hands of a good director here.
Yeah,
So,
he did a great job.
which makes it more of a thriller too, because it's not like
Mhm.
this guy isn't working that field. So I agree.
Yeah, and some of these films are people are like, oh, they're not thrillers. Well, if you think about,
What is a
what
thriller? What's in the word thriller?
it's
You know what?
it's basically a film or play or novel with an exciting plot,
Yeah,
typically crime or espionage.
something that makes you go ooh. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, so it is a thriller. But if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. I really, really highly recommend it. It's probably some of Hugh Jackman's best acting. But segueing into that, we're gonna go into a film that you picked. I think is probably his best acting with this 2013 film.
You doing this to yourself? Just tell us. Tell me. Tell me! Tell me! Tell me! Tell me! Where's my daughter? Where's my daughter?
2013's Prisoners, directed by Denis Villeneuve, who also directed Dune Part 1 and 2, Blade Runner 2049, Sicario, and Arrival. The film stars Hugh Jackman, Jake Gyllenhaal, Viola Davis, Melissa Leo, Maria Bello, Terrence Howard, and Paul Dano. The movie had a box office of 122 million on a budget of 46 million. Tell me about Prisoners, my friend.
I like the way I like the way of the style of the filming. Acting tour de force by not only Hugh Jackman, who's great, but I think this changes my idea of Jake Gyllenhaal a whole lot too, because Jake Gyllenhaal, he's the cop trying to also find out what's going on here. It's a deep role. Viola Davis does a good job. Melissa Leo does a good job. Maria Bello does a good job. You mentioned Crash earlier. Here's Terrence Howard, how many years after Crash? 10 years? And he's like subjugated to playing like fifth fiddle in Prisoners, which does still a good job. He probably should have took the money, whatever they were offering for Iron Man 2, because he might have. But that being said, even more, I think is my favorite out of all of them, and I'm always in this guy's corner, is Mr. Paul Dano. I just think he is really creepy in this movie, and mixed with Gyllenhaal's intensity, mixed with Hugh Jackman's real intensity. There's a whole lot going on in this movie to enjoy.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed this film. Not saying it's a hard film to watch because you get really, really emotionally invested in it. But in terms of the way it's presented, is like those best films are the ones you get invested in, and this film is really, really in there. I can totally imagine myself becoming the Hugh Jackman character. If something like that happened to me or my child. Many of us could. Jake Gyllenhaal is really great. Paul Dano is great at playing a creep. And Terrence Howard's great. It's just so many great performances, like he said. I do like that they gave, kind of like the actors free range of doing things. They gave Dano his free range of how he wanted to portray his character, as well as Gyllenhaal's Detective Loki with his tattoos and his Freemason ring, which I totally forgot how it was like prominent in this film. I don't know if they were trying to say there, but there are a lot of cops who are Masons. I mean, that's what they're trying to say. I don't know. But it's very, very well layered. It's not it's not a slow burn to me. I felt the pacing was very, very good. Kept you invested the whole time. And sometimes these films that are like these crime thriller films, they kind of have that slow burn. This one didn't. This one kept you like on the edge of your seat. What was going to happen? It should have got way, way more talk than it did, and it should get more love than it really does.
I also honestly I like his directing style again, and directed by I think he does a good job here, and I hope he makes more movies like this and doesn't just stick with like the Dune type movies. Those are good movies. But the movie he did before this with Gyllenhaal, Enemies, which is what got Gyllenhaal this role altogether, is really good movie too.
Yeah, it's really, really done well. I extremely preach that you guys should watch this if you haven't seen it. It's very, very emotionally investing. And if you haven't seen it, man, I don't know what rock you've been living under, but it is totally worth the viewing. Just be sure to know that you are going to be pulled into it. But
it's very emotional. I mean,
yeah,
again,
yeah.
it's not something you're gonna like with me in Pulp Fiction, it's like a made up world where this one, it's a little real. So you watch it once, it's not like I sit down every weekend and watch it, but when you watch it, it's gonna stick with you in a good way.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to stick with you in a good way. And really, really great job done by the director for this, Tom. Really, really good pick. Like I said earlier, I thought that Logan was probably some of Hugh Jackman's best acting, while this film is probably his best acting, in my opinion. Way, way better than I could imagine, to be honest with you.
Real quick, do you like Swordfish?
I do. I like Swordfish.
Which is
Even though
another aspect of Hugh.
yeah, even though he his computer skills get made fun of a lot because of the way he types.
Does it? See, like you would know more about that.
Yeah, it's not just me. A lot of people I know.
No, yeah, I
they're
mean
like,
that's what I mean. Just in that world that you in, like, is he
yeah,
like?
it just gets made fun of a lot. But it's fun. I like.
I mean, but like that's what I was just bringing that up because it shows he can do so many different things. He's a good actor.
Yeah, totally good actor. But with that, Tone, let's move on to our next film, my friend.
All right, let's do it.
I can dance the Black Swan too.
Really? In 4 years, every time you dance, I see you obsessed, getting each and every move perfectly right, but I never see you lose yourself. Ever. All that discipline for what?
Just want to be perfect.
You what?
Want to be perfect.
Perfection is not just about control. It's also about letting go.
2010's Black Swan, directed by Darren how do you say his name? Aronofsky?
Yep, Aronofsky.
Okay. Yep. Aronofsky, I'm sorry. Who directed Pi, Requiem for a Dream, The Whale, Mother, The Wrestler, and The Fountain. The film stars Natalie Portman, who actually won Best Oscar for this film. Best Actress Oscar. Mila Kunis, Vincent Cassel, Winona Ryder, Barbara Hershey, and Benjamin Millepied. The movie had a budget of $13 million and a box office of $330. Coming from a psychological thriller, this film is probably one of the best ones that I can think of off the top of my head. Natalie Portman is excellent in the film. Mila Kunis is excellent. Winona Ryder is excellent as the grizzled veteran that is basically pushed out of the way for a younger, more beautiful ballerina. It just shows a lot of things considering the pressures of art and the pressures of the world of dance and how you have to be the best at things and the pressures that are put on you. It also shows a lot of psychological things going on that at the end I was like, what the hell? Until I found out with the ending, I thought was excellent. Shout out to Natalie Portman because she had a bunch of injuries during this film. She frequent resets for her left toe, became known as portmanteau, which is kind of funny. She lost 20 pounds, looked more like a professional ballerina. She went and trained for a year on her own money, and even took the role of Your Highness to help finance Black Swan. Just really, really faith in the film, and she really believed in her character, and she knocked it out of the park. I really, really enjoy this film. It's out there, and Darren Aronofsky, his films are really, really good in terms of showing that story and gravitating towards the message of playing with mind or emotions, and this film does both. What do you think about it, Tone?
You helped me out because this was one of the ones that was on my list to pick. So when you picked it, it helped me out to pick 5 other ones because the movie is amazing. Again, another time seeing it in the movie theater, leaving the movie theater saying, this movie is awesome. Third director in a row, another good director. His new movie just came out last week, supposedly amazing too, with Austin Butler and the dude who played Doctor Who, Matt Smith. Supposed to be kind of like a mixture of Snatch and Pulp Fiction, so I'm interested to see that. But back to this one, you get to really see the style in this movie. There's a lot of really, it plays with your mind like Prisoners does, but again in a different, actually this movie's even though Prisoners is dealing with probably a harder subject matter, this movie plays a lot more with like psychologically with your mind, because you're trying to figure out what's really going on here, which makes the movie even more interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And I highly recommend it. It does play with your mind a lot. It basically, it has a lot of twists and turns in it. Not really a slow burn, like the pacing. I really like films that are thrillers that are paced very well. I think this film was paced very, very well. Because, like I said, thrillers can be very good, but sometimes they slow down to the point where you're like, oh, come on, man. Like, I don't need to know about this shit, or I don't need this scene. This film actually doesn't do that. Everything has a point in it, and I really, really like that. Phenomenal acting by all the actors that are involved. This film kind of got Winona Ryder kind of like on the right track. I mean, she was really big in the 90s, and then she had that little thing where they said she shoplift, and that kind of put her career in her gutter for a little bit. And then she was kind of in Black Swan, and then eventually she went to Stranger Things, and her career got kind of like back on the right track. So I'm glad for her, because she's one of the actresses I grew up with.
Yeah, always like success for
Mhm.
good actresses. And also, I mean, to be fair, I mean, I really wish maybe after this movie, Mila Kunis did a little bit more, more serious roles like this, because she wasn't bad in this either.
Yeah, she wasn't. She was actually very, very good in the film. I thought she was excellent, which is surprising.
That's what I mean. You're thinking that 70s show,
Family Guy.
Family Guy. Family Guy.
Yeah, I mean, she was very, very good in it. Actually, like this one, Swan, Ballerina, actress. Yes, they are both great. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you checking it out. You might want to think, oh, it's about ballet. No, it's a lot more than that. Two phenomenal actresses do a great job. You have old, grizzled veterans like Barbara Hershey, who I call old, but she's still awesome. And then Benjamin Millepied is awesome in the film as well.
Even Vincent Cassel, just the way you played in that beginning clip. I like him in a couple other movies. He does a good job.
I still cannot see him as the guy from Ocean's 11.
That's right. Another one. Yeah,
doing a little dance and to get to the lights. Every time I see him, that's what makes me think of that horrible music and him doing. And he's what's it? The fighting style, Capuano, I think it's called. He does that. Yeah, he does the fighting style. And that's why he did the little dance in the Ocean's 12.
That's funny.
But yeah, he's awesome. Capoeira. I'm sorry, Capoeira. Yeah, he's awesome. My pronunciation is horrible today. But
that one would have got me because I never even heard of that. So
it's like a dancing fight style. It's
look that up. Maybe I should start. That'd be cool.
Yeah, you ever see the movie The Quest
with the Van Damme?
Yeah, there's like one in there. There's a guy doing it in there.
Real quick before we move on, there used to be a restaurant right here in town back in high school, and it was called The Quest. And I'd always say to my buddy, like, do you think Van Damme would be there? Because The Quest is a great movie. That's a great ridiculous movie. Let me make it simple, not a great movie.
It's it shows Van Damme as an old man before he got old. Shout out as mentioning Van Damme. Baloney sent us that text. Did you see that text he sent us about Canelo doing the Van Damme dance?
Yes, that was great.
So Canelo's got some Van Damme in him. But with that, Tone, let's move on to your next film, my man.
What am I supposed to do? You won't answer my calls. You changed your number. I mean, I'm not going to be ignored, Dan.
1987's Fatal Attraction, directed by Adrian Lyne, who directed Jacob's Ladder, Flashdance, Decent Proposal, Unfaithful, and 9.5 Weeks. I noticed that this director has a lot of films that involve couples. It stars Michael Douglas, Glenn Close, Ann Archer, Ellen Latzen, Stuart Pinkin, Ellen Foley, and Fred Gwynn. The movie had a budget of $14 million and made up $320 million at the box office. Glenn Close was also nominated for an Oscar for her role. Tone, tell me about Fatal Attraction, my friend.
The performances of Michael Douglas and Glenn Close are amazing. I mean, recently we talked about Wall Street. When we were doing our comparisons, which was awesome, between Gordon Gekko and Jordan Belfort. In this movie, I've said this to Katie in a couple movies. I thought the wife was more attractive than actually Glenn Close.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what it is it's the alluring of just having this other passion that's going on. But Jesus, that scene that you just played, she says some of the craziest stuff I've ever heard. Me and Katie always replay that scene. I'm not going to be ignored, Dan. Just such a great line. I don't know why movies like this, again, these are like my favorite type of movies, because they're real, but they're totally not real. And Glenn Close just does a really great job in this. But Michael Douglas is just a dupe. I mean, he really is a dupe in this movie, which is hilarious because in Wall Street, he's so powerful. In this, she makes him so weak. She's like in charge of all these things that are going wrong because they decided to, get it on. And then that's the whole premise. And that's the premise in life. When you do actions like that, do you know how far? Do they know how they're going to go, especially when you're cheating on your wife? Pretty crazy just to see how deep it went.
Yeah, like they say, sometimes the little head tells the big head what to do, but the big head doesn't listen. It's a great quote from Bronx Tale.
Oh, that is a good quote. You gotta get that one. You gotta put that one also in our quote box for next week. That's a good one.
But Glenn Close is phenomenal in this film as the person obsessed with Michael Douglas. The crazy thing is, we all know the ending. If you haven't seen this film is almost 40 years old.
87, yeah, it's about 30 years. Yeah.
So the ending was when she was actually shot by Michael Douglas in the film, while she's trying to kill his wife. The alternate ending actually was her actually slitting her own throat.
Oh, really?
And then blaming him for the murder, basically making it look like he did it. But beforehand, she does this. She sends a tape to him threatening to off herself, and his wife finds it and sends it to the cops, who eventually see it and then realize, okay, it was a suicide. But this film did the whole Hollywood ending, like the saving by the gun, the shot gun. I wonder how that ending that I just mentioned would have played out. Like, what do you think? You think that would have been accepted by fans, or do you prefer this ending?
If you want to know the truth, I wish that ending happened, but the wife never gets the tape, because it shows how stupid his one little mistake could get him in prison by this crazy person, and she frames him. And can you imagine what a crazy ending that would be? But then the wife finding the tape and turning them in is also, I think, better than what they actually do too. So, I think just that whole entire putting the bunny, the bunny rabbit scene is famous, which is sad because I love bunnies, so you should never do that. But just Glenn Close in general, the way she plays it, because there's obsessive, which we're going to get to a little later in one of my last pick, and then there's something off with that person too. You know what? There's just something off with her. I mean, who do you think's crazier, her or Kathy Bates in Misery?
Kathy Bates. They're both pretty fucking batshit crazy, though.
That's what I mean. Kathy Bates operates in some house in the middle of nowhere. This lady's literally she makes you think that you're like, oh wow, she's so, but then she's just not going to leave you alone.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Nuts.
Yeah, extremely. And then reading about this, Sally Field turned down the role.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
because she was scared of audience, rejection as an antagonist. She thought she couldn't play an antagonist. Um, Elizabeth Shue was considered for it. Also, you had Sharon Stone
Oh.
audition for Alex. She was,
Was this between this and Above the Law?
maybe. But she was in like another film with Michael Douglas where she played, kind of like the same kind of character that, in Basic Instinct. So not as crazy as Glenn Close, but she was manipulative. Christopher Reeve turned down the role as he had, but Romancing the Stone, which also went to Douglas. So Douglas hit 2 home runs with these 2 roles. AFI ranked Alex Forrest, which is Glenn Close's character, on this at number 7 of its top 100 villains list, which shows you such a great job. And the crazy thing about this that goes into the role that Glenn Close had played is Christy Alley, the former actress and comedian, supplied a real stalker audio tape from her own life that inspired verbatim lines for this film.
It's what's the word I'm looking for? I'll tell you an actor that I'll always think that I think Michael Douglas is a good actor. I mean, a really good actor. Like, he does some really good stuff. He doesn't get talked about a lot of times as one of the top 10 actors of all time. But when you talk about Romancing the Stone, this, Black Rain, and Wall Street, and Basic Instinct all coming out right around the same time, that's a pretty murder's row of good movies. And this movie here, I picked it because it kind of like that late 80s thriller. It's just a cool time period.
I think Michael Douglas has had his own historic career. I think he gets a little overshadowed by his dad Kirk. But I mean, even what's that film that my mother-in-law loves so much? The President one, when he's the president.
Oh,
I can't think
that was my mom's favorite movie, American President.
Yeah, the American President. My mother-in-law.
I got a fight at my in-laws' house once because you know what they said? They go, "Yeah, I don't want to watch that movie. He's a Democrat." And I go, "Are you kidding me? It's a movie, and you're not going to watch it because of the political affiliation of the make-believe president in the movie?" I go, "Get out of here." But it's a good movie. I like what he does in that movie. Honestly, this is a movie. If you ever get a chance, I want you to watch it and maybe you have. You ever watch what's the one with him? It just came. Him, De Niro, Morgan Freeman, and Kevin Kline. They're all Las Vegas. It's called Las Vegas, where the 4 of them. It's pretty much the 4 of them in their own American Pie movie in Las Vegas. It's funny. De Niro he's playing his age. He's not like playing stupid his age like in Bad Grandpa. Douglas does a good job. The story's really good. Honestly, it makes me tear up because it's all these legends. If you ever get a chance, check it out. But I'm a big Douglas stan. I'm just glad I got to talk about Fatal Attraction tonight because it's one of my definitely in my top 50 movies of all time. I think it's because of Douglas is just so stupid in it, honestly. Like at the beginning, he's just such an idiot, but like as the viewer, you look at the poster and you watch it, like you really know he's an idiot. But
oh yeah, he totally is.
Well, because anytime you want to cheat on your significant other, you're almost like you're setting yourself up for the fall. That never goes well. Just never does. And this is the biggest case of saying it really doesn't go well.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's stupidity. I know my wife loves Black Rain a lot. She told me how much she loved it. She hated that movie. But
she hated
it? Yeah, I love that movie. But I wrote a blog about it.
Yeah, it was great.
But definitely check this one out. It is a classic. This film, again, does not get mentioned a lot when we think of thrillers and like those characters. But it has such an impact on the play out and the representation and portrayal of somebody who is a stalker / obsessive person. And it could be both sides, man or woman. It's just ridiculous that Glenn Close just hurt the way she just flipped that switch, man. She was she was
Well, and it's just like some people like there's some people who like, okay, well, it's just like a switch that goes on and off. Like when she turned that switch, it was turning now more and more. And you make it seem like honestly, something happened to her a lot before this because the switch went like that. And it was just a free spawn. Like her life meant nothing before meeting Douglas. Like she had not a single thing going on in her life before. But that's not how she portrayed herself when she met Douglas, which is even crazier.
Yeah.
There's a joke that I always laugh about, me and Katie in the movie real quick, is there's a scene where Douglas is in his bedroom, like he had stayed the night at her house, and he goes home, and it's like right before his wife comes home. So like what Douglas does to make it seem like he slept that night is he lays in his bed for 1 second, turns over like this, and gets out of the bed. It's the most ridiculous scene I've ever seen. Like if you were cheating on your wife, would you just lay in your bed for a minute, roll over the covers to make it look like you slept there the night before? It's funny. There is some dark humor in this movie if you look close enough, because he's just doing some really stupid stuff.
Yeah, definitely. It's like you kind of feel bad for the man, but dude, like, what the hell are you doing? Like,
it's one of those two, yeah. Like he made a simple mistake that a lot of people make. She made it seem like as soon as it happened, like they were going to be married, which even if he was single, this wouldn't have been okay. So like being married just made it all worse, but you wouldn't date somebody and the next day she's like all up in your grill. You'd be like, let's give it a couple weeks. Let's see what happens here.
True.
But good flick. And I think besides the comedy genre, this is another genre that's kind of dying off at the movie theaters when you really think about it, getting a lot of like play. I mean, it's either action, horror, comedy. I mean, that's really what's at the box office going. And kids movies are always big.
Definitely. These films are, and sometimes like they try to make them and they're just bad.
That too. I mean, Adrian Lyne, one of his last movies, honestly, on paper, I thought this was going to be the movie of the year. It was Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas, and they were going to be in a steamy thriller. And you know what I said? Yes, Fatal Attraction 2024, Ana de Armas. Oh man, my love, this is gonna be great. Honestly, the movie is mid at best, and it's almost like Adrian Lyne fell asleep while filming it, considering he's filmed some of these other classics. Not terrible, like you can't watch it, but man, when you're looking at Ana de Armas and Ben Affleck, you're thinking possibly some really good stuff. But
yeah, if you go through the archives, we actually had Scarlett Tigresa from Twitter come on. She's a big.
Yeah,
she discussed that film. She
Did
was
she?
like, yeah, she's like, there's just so much sex in it. It just, she's like, I was just like, why is there so much sex in this film? Yeah, she discussed that film a little bit.
There's a lot, and that's what I mean. Like in this movie, they do it at the beginning. But it's not like a sex fest. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But she's like, there's just so much, like, and I'm like, she's like, I was like, wow, like, this is a lot of it in here.
What's that movie called again? I know you just put
Deep Water.
Deep Water.
Yeah. But moving on, my friend.
Being fired from Valley Springs for touching your students.
I'm not the Zodiac. And if I was, I certainly wouldn't tell you.
2007 Zodiac, directed by David Fincher, who did The Killer, Gone Girl, The Mindhunter series, The Social Network, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. The film stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Robert Downey Jr., Mark Ruffalo, Anthony Edwards, Brian Cox, Elias Costas, and John Carroll Lynch. It had a budget of $65 million and a box office of $84 million. When we think of serial killer films, I know they're kind of getting a more of a run now within the past 7 years, with Zac Efron playing Ted Bundy. You have the Dahmer series coming out. Fincher, I think, is the best at doing any of this. Fincher, to me, knows how to do a crime film. He knows how to pace it. He knows what needs to be done. I mean, he's done one of the best in Seven that I didn't mention in his filmography, but and Fight Club. So those different kind of genre of films. But he's very, very good at pacing everything. He's very good at having you feed into its plots and twists and getting the characters and know what's thinking. And in terms of this film I think is what really got Fincher into being able to do Mindhunter, because Mindhunter is a series that is basically based off real FBI cases that happened in the 70s and 80s, and they were doing interviews with serial killers. So he used that real life aspect of it while, kind of putting his own little fiction twist on it as well for, of course, Hollywooding it up. He does the same thing with Zodiac, as Zodiac is based off a real serial killer that was, I believe, killing people during the 60s and 70s, if I'm not mistaken. Never been caught, although they say they know who the person is now. I don't know if that's been confirmed, but I know there's been I guess it was some guy in Philadelphia that has long passed. But just great acting by all actors involved. Jake Gyllenhaal's in this film, does a great job. Robert Downey Jr. is phenomenal in this film. Brian Cox is awesome, who's known for his own portrayals of serial killers, as he was the original Hannibal Lecter in Manhunter. He did his own, spin on that. Elliot Cultis is awesome. John Carroll Lynch is, I totally it's a person that's totally forgotten. He plays such good roles as those creepy character actor. He's great in his film. He was great in Gothica. Just an awesome actor, and he doesn't get like that love for his acting like those good character actors. He's just great. I mean, there's so much good stuff you can say about John Carroll Lynch, man.
Awesome. I mean, John Carroll Lynch had a really great role in American Horror Story. He was awesome on that show. I remember him, the first time I seen him is he's the husband of Frances McDormand in Fargo. He does a good job in that. Yeah. But like these actors in this movie, I thought about it. Maybe I shouldn't say I hate a movie and then I like it. What I should say is it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, but after watching it more, it actually was better than I thought it could be. And that's how this movie feels like. And I think what it is I used to be the king of going to the very last showing of any movie. So 10:30, 11 at night. You go see this movie at 11 at night after the trailers, 11:30. This movie ain't ending until 2:20 in the morning. And if you worked at 5:50 in the morning the night before, you will be. I think I fell asleep in the movie theater because it's a great movie. But it's not like guns are going off. It's not, it's a thinker. You're thinking and you're going through it. So now in the last 5 years, I've watched this movie 20 times and this movie is great. Like when I say great, I mean, like I like this movie. Honestly, it's come up. I used to never think I'd ever like this movie anywhere close to 7, but it's really, really close. And you know what's close about it are these performances. I mean, especially Robert Downey Jr. His performance is awesome in this movie. The last conversation he has on that boat that he's living on, and I would love to live on a boat like that. That was a dream, like a boat. And just really great filming. And as you said, David Fincher's a king. And so far tonight, we're just digging into great directors. And this is, as you said, nobody's really better at doing it than him.
Yeah, and I love the fact that in terms of this film, Fincher basically he took the cases where people survived the Zodiac killings. He omitted the ones where there wasn't no survivors, and that was just a way to kind of give it a more shaping of the story. Man, I can only praise Mindhunter so much because I really wanted to come back, and the series is probably never going to come back because Fincher was burned out. But I see a lot of that in here, and this, Mindhunter is taking a lot of what Zodiac is and basically made a series out of it, and he does it so well. And this is like the big film. I wish they would have done like one last big film for Mindhunter. That could have been.
I like conclusions in movies, and this movie doesn't necessarily give you a conclusion, which is what makes me now like movies sometimes that don't have a conclusion. Because sometimes you want, like you said, you said it earlier, the Hollywood ending. Here, I want to know who the killer is. I want it to be Mark Ruffalo. Like, it was a surprise the whole time. But at the end of the day, the way this movie is filmed, and it's true, of course, you can't do that. It's cool the way, like, it is shot on the screen here, where everything's ambiguous. Like, the killer's ambiguous. They make you think it's one person. And then at the end of the day, you don't know who it was. And all these people's lives were kind of ruined by trying to figure out who it was.
Yeah, and until I guess recently, within the past 10 years, they didn't really know who it was, or I mean, it's still considered unidentified. There are theories, but this is probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, serial murder case that hasn't been solved completely. The 340 cipher that's in the film was finally solved on December 20th. All it did was reveal like somebody taunting the police, of course, no identity, in 2020. So I mean, these murders were happening in the 70s, 69, I believe, and then into the 70s, and it still hasn't been solved, which shows the person that did this was really, really jacked up.
Yeah.
But just even like the phone calls, the stuff that the atmosphere is played very, very well, and it's kind of shot in that griminess, kind of a 7. Like, there's more light in this film, like the picture you're showing, but it's still like it's not too bright. It's still kind of like that kind of creepy light.
That's what I like. There's like the scene, like I think it's like the one. It's like all the scenes, even when it's like you're there in the kitchen, it gives the sheen he puts over the film. It just gives it like the movie's like in the 70s, like it's taking place in the 70s, but you're literally looking like you're watching a movie that was made in the 70s, but it's not, and that's what gives it its cool edge. It's a little bit.
Yeah. Definitely check this one out if you haven't seen it. It's definitely worth your time. It's Fincher galore. And if, like I said, if you're a fan of Mindhunter, you'll like this film. Moving on, my friend.
Andy! You goody!
Oh, that wasn't it. That wasn't it.
Oh, darn.
Well, we have to thank him this time.
For what? Coming onto our property without asking? No. This is not troubling to you?
I really don't think that he meant it to be troubling. He wouldn't see it like that. He just thinks he's giving us some fish.
You know, they used to call him Weirdo in school. Gordo the Weirdo.
2015's The Gift, directed by Joel Edgerton. Well, this is his film debut in terms of directing. He's known for acting, of course. He did a other film called Glen Morangi, Once Upon a Time in Scotland. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And Boy Erased. It stars Jason Bateman, Rebecca Hall, Joel Edgerton, Allison Tolman, and Tim Griffin. The film had a box office of $58 million with a budget of $5 million. Tone, tell some people about this film, my man, because not a lot of people know about The Gift.
Oh my gosh. This is another one. I mean, this is me and Katie used to just like go see. I mean, this is just the time period where, okay, I read the review. The reviews are good for this movie. I'm gonna go see it. And now we're into the category of, well, Jason Bateman's in it. I know Rebecca Hall from The Town. This is gonna be pretty good. Joel Edgerton at this period, I kind of know him. I don't know him too much. I've seen Warrior. That movie's awesome. But I'm like, what is this movie? And boy, this movie takes you on a ride. And you're playing that scene right there. And I want to tell you, there's some new show coming on, I guess, on Netflix with Jason Bateman. It's another serious one. But Bateman nails this role as he's like a smart-ass prick which is great because, Joel Edgerton is kind of like a weirdo. But there's just so much more to the story, and the way the twist is at the end is huge, and it is big, and it's crazy because Jason Bateman just acts so like nonchalant through it. Like, yeah, this guy's just a weirdo. When the reality is maybe he should have been paying closer attention to what was going on, and that's really what The Gift is, without giving away what The Gift is.
Yeah. One thing I think is kind of cool is that they're from Chicago.
Yeah.
They take it. It's just a lot of twists and turns. Gordo is ridiculously strange. That's the best I can describe him. He's very strange. A lot of great twists and turns. Go ahead.
I just laugh because it's the way you actually, and what's hilarious is if I could have clipped the scene to pick, you picked the greatest one. That's why I was laughing over here, because the way you said it. And later when Gordo actually finds out he's in their house, and he like goes up to like the refrigerator, and he had like Bateman had wrote Gordo the weirdo on it, and he just like stares at it, and he just turns around, he's like, I gotta go. And they're like, whoa, okay. And then he leaves, and then she goes over and looks at the fridge, and he's like, what? Oh, come on, man. That guy's just weird. But the reality is it's back to, it's a different type of vengeance story, because that's generally what it is when you find out is that he's out for vengeance of something that happened in the past. And I believe, like anything else, if Bateman would have just addressed it at the beginning and kind of was really actually cool with Gordo, it might not have gotten as deep as it did, because the twist is huge. It's a big twist, and without giving it away, Bateman, by the time the movie's over, he's lost his job. He's alienated everybody who's closest to him. And the reality is with Gordo being a weirdo, you would have thought Gordo would have been such an easy case for Bateman to make, to say, oh, listen to me, not Gordo the weirdo. But you find out that Bateman's actually more of a jerk than Gordo is a weirdo, and that's not just a good combo at all.
Yeah. One cool thing I looked at while doing some research for this film is that they have room 237, Robin's hospital room, which is a nod to The Shining. I thought
cool.
that was kind of cool. It's really, really done well. A film that, again, does not get mentioned a lot. I haven't seen this film in about 10 years. I saw this when it first came out. And it's one of those films I'm like, wow, that was really good. I didn't rewatch it for the show this week because I've seen it and I had a pretty good memory of it. But, is this film on Prime, Tone? Do you know?
I have it. I have a copy of it on, I believe, DVD. I don't know if it's playing on anything. It was for a little while, I think, on Hulu or something.
Yeah, you can get it from Hulu, and it looks like Prime is on there as well. You got to rent it for Prime. Definitely, if you have a chance to watch it, you'll be blown away by the ending. You like twist? Yeah, this film has a lot of twists in it.
Good.
Very, very good pick, Tom.
Thank you.
Moving on, my friend.
He's not coming back. Had enough?
You certainly have my attention.
Because I can keep going, brick by brick, dollar by dollar, body by body. Or you can call your boss and tell him to shut down his operation tonight.
2014's The Equalizer, directed by Antoine Fuqua, who directed Equalizer 2 and 3, The Guilty, Infinite, The Magnificent Seven, and Shooter. Stars Denzel Washington, Martin Sikorsky, Chloe Grace Moretz, David Harbour, Haley Bennett, Johnny Skotortis, and Melissa Leo. Had a budget of $55 million and a box office of $192 million. I really like this film because, one, Denzel is just a badass. I love seeing him in action roles, and this is like one of the few films where he's older in an action role. I love that his portrayal of the character. Another film where you don't know. I love how they keep him in mystery, like his background, and you don't know who he is until later in the film they kind of tell you about him. But it's just a great action film. It has characters you feel for. Chloe Grace Moretz, you feel for her. The character Ralphie, the guy who works with him at the hardware store, you feel for him. It just shows that Denzel Washington's character, Robert McCall, is, has a good heart in some ways, or is trying to make amends for what he's done before. Of course, this is a remake, I believe, like from 1980s, a series, which now it has a series of Queen Latifah. I don't know if that series is still going on, but this one is done very well. It has a Russian mob in it. I think Martin Sikorsky is really, really good in the film as the bad guy. Their dialogue, their chemistry as it goes back and forth is really, really awesome. So much action in it. Very, very paced very well again. And like I can't walk away from a film with Denzel being a badass, man. That's all I can say. I love Denzel. What'd you think about it?
Denzel's awesome to the point where I think I'm going to get the 7-day free trial of Apple TV because I believe his new movie that just came out, they just put it on there, and it's supposed to the new Spike Lee movie. But back to this, good movie, exciting movie. I was looking at David Harbour, and I was thinking about he sneaks into some of these movies. I mean, now everyone knows him a little bit more from Stranger Things and stuff. But people forget he's actually the one that breaks up the love between Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger in Brokeback Mountain. He's like the one, which is crazy because it's such a small little role. But that's what's cool about him is he's an actor doing a lot of cool little different roles in this. Again, though, I mean, for a while, Chloe Grace Moretz had some awesome stuff. She's really good in this. Denzel Washington is awesome in this. He's awesome in everything. Do you like did you see the third one?
Actually, I liked it. It was it's not, I mean, of course not gonna be as good as the original, but it was enjoyable.
These are ones like that I really probably in the next couple weeks should sit down and watch like all three back to back to back.
Actually,
You
like
can't go wrong with Denzel. You can't go wrong with Denzel. You just can't.
Yeah, and then, I mean, they all have really good cast in them. Pedro Pascal is in the second one.
I didn't even know that. That's
Yeah. Speaking of Chloe Grace Moretz, she's phenomenal in this film. It's a smaller role for her. But she does a great job in her role. The character was supposed to be 24, and her being 17 at the time, she fought for to get cast, and she eventually won. She's just a phenomenal actress. She did Let Me In, which is a great horror film. I don't know if you've seen it, Tone. It's about a little girl vampire.
One of my favorites.
Yeah, I did that for 31 Days last year. Great film, made off a Swedish film. But she's also, of course, as Hit Girl from Kick-Ass series. Just a great, phenomenal actress for such a young age. And working with Denzel Washington, the cast is very, very good in here. David Harbour is great in this film too, as a disgruntled cop that's like dirty. Great actor, but I will say I did see the film Thunderbolts with my son, and his Russian accent is horrible.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. That's funny.
Yeah, it was really bad. But I love David Harbour. But Denzel is just a man. I mean, doing research for this, he created the backstory of Mikhail, and including the OCD that he has, and then he interviewed real OCD people, sufferers, and trained daily to portray it authentically, which I thought was cool. And it really adds like a lot to the character. Setting up the making sure the salt and pepper are correct. Even when he goes to like kill, like the way he has OCD, like even when he's doing the door, when he's thinking about what he's gonna do and how he's slamming the door, it's like tics that he has that just portray very, very well. And he did a lot with minimal stuff. Like his character is his badass, but he's not flashy, which I thought was pretty cool.
You know what I'm really disappointed with you up in your notes? You didn't put the great classic Antoine Fuqua film Tears of the Sun with Bruce Willis. Did you ever see that one?
Yeah, I've seen it. I was gonna put it, but I try to limit like the movies because
no, you did. I'm just kidding. You picked some good ones, and he's a good director too. He's got Shooter is a good movie. This one is good, and I'm definitely gonna watch all three of them.
Yeah, definitely check this out if you haven't seen it. It's a thriller.
No, yeah.
But moving on to our next film, my friend. You'll be thrilled.
can consciousness exist without interaction? Anyway, sexuality is fun, man. If you're gonna exist, why not enjoy it?
Ex Machina, directed in 2014 by Alex Garland, who did Civil War, Men. He did Devs, the miniseries, Annihilation, Warfare, and of course, he's going to be doing the upcoming Elden Ring film. The film stars Alicia Vikander, Domhnall Gleeson, Oscar Isaac, the easiest name in here, Sonoya Mizuno, and Corey Johnson. Those two last people, Isaac and Corey Johnson, thank you for making it easier for me. Budget of $15 million and a box office of $37 million. Tone, tell people, since this is a film that doesn't get mentioned a lot, I've seen posters for it, I've seen the film, but most of the people I know have seen posters of this, they've seen backgrounds, and like, this is a real popular, the character of the ex Machina or Machina is really popular in like computer background desktop screens.
Okay.
Also like drawings and whatnot. Explain a little bit of the film for people who haven't seen it.
Well, just for laughs, I've thought about, well, first of all, this would be hilarious. What happens if this Oscar Isaac was the Oscar Isaac that was Poe in the Star Wars series? Like, he acted like this. He's ridiculous in this movie.
Maybe Cotton would like them more.
And then you know what I thought of after I got off? And maybe I'll just say it here real quick. I got a good debate for him because I know what I could have got really under his skin. You know what movie I think's better than The Last Jedi?
What?
Solo. But we'll save that for another time. Okay, so back over here is this movie is we talked about, we got different kind of thrillers here tonight. This is, I would put this under like a sci-fi thriller. You know, and which is, and also I'll say too, which we didn't talk about him at all when we were talking about Star Wars. I'm a big fan of Domhnall Gleeson in those newest Star Wars films. I actually, honestly, I wish there was more to his character than there was to Adam Driver, just because he was just like one of those like, what's the word? Cheesy, creepy generals making comments. But in this movie, he is the direct opposite of that. He's like the guy who looks like he doesn't really know what he's getting himself involved in. And then once you're there, you get yourself involved in something way deeper than you thought of. You know what I mean? And becomes, you know, crazier and creepier. And in this one, it follows a programmer who, you know, is going to go there and talk to the CEO while he is testing out an intelligent, kind of like, it's not an android, it's called like a gynoid, I think is what it calls, a feminine humanoid robot, a gynoid, which I never had known before talking about this. But that being said, Oscar Isaac is just a big jerk. I mean, that's really the simplest part of it. And it really kind of snuck under the radar too a little bit when it came out. It only really much doubled its budget, which is kind of crazy because the movie is very deep on a lot of levels.
Yeah, it won an Oscar for Best VHX. It's the lowest grossing Oscar winner. The thing is, it's based off comics. I never heard of this comic. Of course, I'm not a big comic person, but it's based off comics, and the comic ended in 2010, and its film came out. Oscar Isaac's character basically is what they wanted Michael Keaton's character in the new RoboCop remake to be, and unfortunately, he had bad writing. It wasn't Keaton's fault; it was the writing's fault. Oscar Isaac is a bad dude in this film. It's crazy that this film came out in 2014, and Garland pitched the tech setting as 10 minutes from now was his tagline. Now they have fucking humanoid robots, dude. Have you seen them? Like, I've seen them on YouTube and TikTok, like at shows where they're showing them the humanoid robots that are going to be servants for like maids and cleaners, and they look just like this fucking thing, Ava, in the film, and it's creepy. Now they're talking about people wanting to marry humanoid robots, and I'm like, what the hell? It's the world we live in, man. It's stuff is becoming real, and thinking about this film, like, just pushes. It makes me like, man, we're coming towards this, coming up on this stuff like really, really quick. but it's shot beautifully. The pacing's very, very good. Great story, of course. Like I said, it was drawn from a comic, but adding in that good flair, I thought Alex Garland directed it nicely. The cinematography is very, very good, well done. It's a badass film. And all the actresses and actors enjoyed working on this. Alicia Vikander said this is probably her favorite role she's worked on in her career, which I think is awesome.
Well, it's in a connection with Alicia Vikander and our last movies ago, Joel Edgerton. They were both in The Green Knight, which we talked about, which is again like Ex Machina. Ex Machina just has a storyline that is now, like you said, but like, can you think of a movie that's like Ex Machina? Like,
is it Machina or Machina? I can't.
It's Machina. I just keep saying Machina, just like I would have said Dennis Villeneuve. I would never say it correctly.
I could be wrong.
Machina. Let's see. Here.
Machina. Okay, it is. I'm giving it the Spanish pronunciation, but I don't know if that's what it is. But yeah, it is Machina. Okay.
I've been trying to.
Yeah, Machina. I had to look it up, guys. I had to look it up. So I corrected it. It says let's Google is wrong. It says Machina. Okay.
Machina.
But we can go either way. I mean,
I keep saying for laughs.
You have no you don't have to ever apologize for pronouncing anything wrong when doing the show with me because I pronounce everything wrong, which is ridiculous. But yeah, but it's really enjoyable. Like you were saying, it's crazy this film didn't make its tons of money, and I'm pretty sure it lost money because you got to take into consideration the advertisement budget that they don't really put into the budgeting. Budgeting is mostly for the filmmaking, so I'm pretty sure it lost money, but it's become a cult classic. I would like to see more of these films made.
Definitely.
Maybe, who knows? Maybe I'll make a comeback, man.
Good.
A lot of Frankenstein feels in this film.
Yeah, there is. And again, Oscar Isaac is just like, he's, who's crazier, him or Glenn Close? Because that's what really, I mean, I guess it depends on how you look at crazy.
Yeah, totally. Moving on to our last two, my friend.
Let them fight.
2014's Godzilla, directed by Gareth Edwards, who did Jurassic World Rebirth, The Creator, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, and Monsters. The film stars Aaron Taylor Johnson, Elizabeth Olsen, Bryan Cranston, and Ken Watanabe. The budget had $116 million, and it had a box office of $524 million. If you don't know me, I'm a huge fan of Godzilla films. I'm a nerd. My kid loves Godzilla. My family loves Godzilla. I love Godzilla films. I watched all the old Toho Godzilla films. I love that Godzilla was in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I'm a huge fan of watching that. I watched all of them from Baby Godzilla to Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. All the films, Godzilla versus Mothra, all of them. I've owned all of them. I've watched all of them. I loved them. I was very disappointed with the US version, although I thought it was marketed very, very well with the Matthew Broderick Godzilla film. Godzilla looked horrible in that film, and Matthew Broderick, although I like him, was very bad in that film. I think this film brought Godzilla back on the map, especially to US audiences. Reason being is the story was done very, very well. I love that the trailer barely showed him, which really, really excited me because even though the other trailer was talking about his foot is the size of this bus or whatever that, this trailer barely showed him, and like it kept you like guessing what it was. They picked a best director for this film in Gareth Edwards, who did Monsters. He kind of has that feel for doing films like this. You had a great cast. The only bad thing was I didn't like the fact that Bryan Cranston wasn't in this film more. But Ken Watanabe, I'm a huge fan of him. I thought it was basically a more modern version of Godzilla. Of course, it's CGI and not a guy in a suit. It's just kind of disappointing, but I really, really enjoyed it. To the point where even the original suit actor of the 1954 film, Hiro Nakayama, loved the film. And it spawned sequels that aren't horrible that I still enjoy to this day. Uh, Godzilla will always live really, really well in my heart. And when this film came out, I was so excited to see it. I saw it with my buddy Johnny at the theater, and we loved it. And I still love Godzilla. So shout out for making me not disappointed for a Godzilla film. Tom, what do you think about this one?
Well, what's hilarious is I had to go run and grab my charger. My computer was going to die. I forgot the charger earlier. Second, I walked in and it was like I walked into my family living room and you were just saying everything that I grew up with. I mean, I'll have to show you one day. I still have all my dad's old Godzilla toys. His favorite character was Mothra. But Godzilla as a whole, there's nobody more badass than Godzilla. To the point that even in the classroom today, before the bell rang, I was playing songs off my thing and I played Godzilla by Blue Oyster Cult because Godzilla is that cool. This movie, I enjoyed this movie a lot. Having suffered through the Matthew Broderick one, and having to listen to my father scream in the car on the way home about how much it sucked. Seeing this one, this was actually a very good and honest depiction of what I think an American version of Godzilla would look like. There's a scene I love. It's probably one of the coolest scenes in these type of movies is when they're about to parachute out and the camera, the way it looks as they're all jumping out, but Godzilla's below them. How crazy that would be to have to do that was just insane. But the movie itself is just awesome with I like that they had what was it, the Mutos that he was fighting, which even in a movie where they threw out more little monsters in it, and I'm a big fan of the King Kong. I'm a big fan of all these movies, to be frankly honest with you. I just have a lot of fun with them, and I was real excited when you picked this so too much that when I saw you picked it and you put 2014, I got confused with the 2000 version, and I was like, shoot, I gotta watch this. So then when I put it into the computer and I put, okay, I got to look up Godzilla 2000 and see where it is. So I put in Godzilla 2014 and I go, fuck, this one, I love this one. I've watched this movie 1,000 times. I love it. But good pick. And it is a thriller. Godzilla is very thrillering. He's more thriller than horror.
Oh, yeah.
Me,
And I think that's kind of, from one, the crappy story of the 98 film, but they try to make it more like a horror film. And like Godzilla has always been like he's a monster, but he's not really that. I mean, in the original one, he destroys stuff, but he's not really a bad guy per se. He's a protector, but he's territorial. He's a fucking monster, and he that's what the Mutos, when they come out, he takes them out, man. He's can beat their ass, And Kong, he beat Kong. I don't care what anybody says, he beat Kong. But,
he did beat Kong. And also, real quick, is that this is the one thing I remember him screaming in the car was that Godzilla in the 98 movie, he burrows. My dad says, Godzilla does not burrow. He does not go underground. Which meant that somehow he's weak because he's burrowing, which was hilarious. Honestly, you should have heard.
Dude, I think me and your dad would have got along.
Oh,
very,
you
very
would have,
well.
because even if you heard just so many screaming about stupid stuff, it's great. But this movie is awesome, and it's a real good pick.
Yeah, it's really, really a good film. It put it back on the market, and now you have Godzilla Day One, Godzilla Zero, and all these other films coming out, which give you that good. This film spawned the American Godzilla feel again, and I really appreciate it. Underrated, and that's why I love it, and it is one of my favorite thrillers. But to close us out, Mr. Burton. Mr. Burt.
It all could have been different, Mr. Walker. You should have allowed nature to take its course. In the end, it will anyway. So let me the fucking house!
1996's Fear, directed by James Foley, who did 50 Shades Free, 50 Shades Darker, Real Talent, Perfect Stranger, Confidence, which is a great crime film, and The Corruptor, another good film, starring Mark Wahlberg, Reese Witherspoon, William Peterson, Amy Brenneman, and Alyssa Milano. It had a box office of 20 mil. Tell me why you picked this thriller. Oh, Tony froze. One thing I will say about this film is that it is ridiculous how thick Mark Wahlberg's Boston accent is in it. He plays the psycho boyfriend, the psycho stalker. He's crazy in it. It always cracked me up because that clip I just played was always in the US trailers for it. And it makes me more laugh than anything about the Mark Wahlberg character in the film. It's a good film. I mean, to the point where, it doesn't get enough. It's flowers. It's not the greatest film by any far means. And I don't think Tony meant it that way. But it is very enjoyable. And I remember, like I said, I remember this film coming out, and the thing that always stuck out with me was just him yelling into the door because it was in the trailer so much, Tone. And his big thick Boston accent in it.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a, what's the word I'm looking for? Such a excellent teen thriller. Pretty much the teen thriller version of Basic Instinct, Fatal Attraction. Also has, again, as stated, the greatest roller coaster scene in film history. Bush blasting. I'm a real big fan of first you got William Peterson is great as the stepfather. Second, you think of Emmy Brenneman in Heat. Look at her as the stepmother to Reese Witherspoon, who, again, she does a good job. The movie's ridiculous. That's what I was going to say before I broke out. It is a ridiculous piece of just filmmaking in general. A pretty solid soundtrack that you got. Toad the Wet Sprockets on it, the Allman Brothers Band, as stated, Bush. You got the Sundays doing Wild Horses, the Rolling Stones song. I really just like those type of movies because it's the type of movie for me, and you're gonna probably look at me like I'm crazy, that you had a long day, you could put this ridiculous movie on, and it's just straight up ridiculous.
Oh, it totally is ridiculous.
And you picked again. I was like, shoot, I don't have to pick the scene because I know what scene you're gonna pick, and you picked the best one to start it all off on.
Yeah, it's just crazy. His accent is so bad in the film.
It is.
But it's an enjoyable film. Just because it's one of those films you can just throw on and just look at the ridiculousness of it. And I love how my wife says, I love this movie, but we all watched this and dated people with the red flag still.
Oh, even like Katie says it all the time. Which is even more funnier because I remember my mom oh man, I would have dated him. And you're like, you would have dated this guy who's stalking her and lives in this house with 5 other creepy. Yeah, he's got tattoos. He's attractive. What about conversations with this guy? But
what am I doing?
That's what the young.
You belong to me.
That's what the young youths like.
Yeah, you belong to me. Nicole. But yeah, his tattoo, Nicole Forever, always cracked. It always makes me laugh. I don't know why. But this kind of got Mark Wahlberg, Marky Mark, from rapper into the Hollywood mainstream, and I think he did The Corruptor was after this, if I'm mistaken.
Yes, it was. This was the first movie.
Yeah, he was in
Basketball Diaries. Yeah,
well, he was in Renaissance Man too. But
as
a big star
Mark
role.
Wahlberg front box, which is a ridiculous front box. If you, it's just really ridiculous movie, but fun. Fatal Attraction is they're time period pieces. This movie's the thriller version of American Pie. It's you're with your friends and you're like, oh man, I just met the guy in my dreams, but he's really a creep stalker with more creeper stalker friends. And then your best friend's Alyssa Milano. I wish she was my best friend back then.
Yeah. God. You know what film Mark Wahlberg did after this?
Boogie Nights?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
He did Your Spot, man.
Which
Boogie
is
Nights.
hilarious because what real quick, what do you think about Leonardo DiCaprio coming out and saying the only movie he ever regrets turning down was that role in Boogie Nights? But he said, which is great because it shows what a good guy he goes, but I could never see anybody else doing that movie besides Mark Wahlberg. So, like, it's one of those things that, you know, he turned it down and Mark Wahlberg picked up the ball. And unfortunately, now he's making movies where he's bald with like a hairpiece trying to save someone on a plane. I don't know. I saw it's like Lost Baggage. I forgot the name of it. Some new Mark Wahlberg movie looks bad. Or
my brother saw it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he said it wasn't that great. Where he's like a killer on a plane or some shit.
Yeah. Like,
I think it's on Flight Risk. I think it's on.
That's what it is. It is.
It might be on Paramount or something like that. But my brother told me it wasn't that good. My brother is usually my
your movie go-to.
Yeah, my guinea pig because he has the AMC, so he's always going to movies and tells me.
What's the last movie you went and seen?
I think he saw Weapons.
Oh, did
it? But I don't know. I had to ask him. He goes to see all the new ones though and tells me like if they're good or not.
Awesome.
He was a real big fan of Sinners.
Oh, that was an awesome movie.
But yeah, I love how you ended it with do you know Wahlburgers? Yeah, remember Jen when we were in Vegas, they had Wahlburgers out there with Donnie Wahlberger. Donnie became a cop in Blue Bloods.
Donnie's great in The Town.
Yeah.
Real quick, before we move on here at the end here, I don't know if you or anyone else has seen it yet, but if you have not, the trailer, it looks amazing. It is the brand new Ben Affleck and Matt Damon movie that they did together, where they look like they are playing a pair of corrupt cops. It is loaded with some other actors that are in it that look really, really interesting. The name of the movie is called The Rip. It is directed by Joel Curran, but also in it is Steven Yeun, which is awesome from The Walking Dead. Kyle Chandler's in it. But if you get a chance, check out this trailer. One thing that Matt Damon said, which I thought was really interesting, is he watched a Beatles documentary, and at the end of it, he cried. And he thought, well, you know what? Me and Ben Affleck should just keep making movies together as opposed to not making movies. So now, as you can see, they keep popping up in movies together a lot more than they did for a long time.
Best friends, man. And not Matt Damon, but Ben Affleck's kind of going through something right now because I don't know if you heard some Hollywood gossip here. His ex-wife just got engaged. And rumor is that he didn't want that to happen.
Is this who, J-Lo or
no,
the other
Jennifer Gardner? Jennifer
Oh
Gardner.
yeah, no, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, so he wasn't too happy, and now he's not like he's just kind of depressed about it.
Well,
so maybe
make a good movie, Ben.
Yeah,
take it out on a good movie.
Creative outlet.
There you go.
But I did see a lot of praise for it coming out. It is a Netflix film, I believe, right?
Yeah, it's the middle of January too, which is not awkward. It's just unusual release for this type of movie in the middle of January. But hey, it seems like these streaming services, there really isn't no more bad time. They're going to release things, and they want you to pay.
Speaking of that, man, you know, the original Mortal Kombat, well, not the original, but the remake came out in 2019 during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
They were supposed to release it next month, and they pushed it back to spring of next year.
Know. That's really upsetting for many different reasons. I hate movies being pushed back.
Yeah.
You ever see The 13th Warrior with Antonio Banderas?
Yeah.
I remember seeing that movie was pushed back so many times that I remember seeing the original trailer when it was still called Eater of the Dead, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's how many times they pushed it back, where it even changed the title. I don't like pushbacks because to me, in the olden days, it meant there were problems. But I hope that's not the case here.
I think they just want to get prepared for like making the most money. That's why they pushed it back a little bit. but I hope not too. We'll see. But that is our top 10 thrillers. In our opinion, our favorite thrillers, 5 and 5. Let us know what you think over in the comments, or shoot us something on the Twitters. Before we get to the Sugar Baggies soundtrack pick of the week, Tone, let everybody know what's going on, the hookup and the James Bond show.
All right. On the James Bond show, just last night, we talked the great Live and Let Die, which pretty much has my favorite James Bond soundtrack song by Paul McCartney, because it's what I love most, rock. It's all mixed in there. But we talked about that. That was very exciting. We also talked and honored some really awesome Pets of Adam. So please tune into that. And we really appreciate it. On the hookup on music this week, we got a lot of things going on. We got unfortunate passing of a member of Supertramp. I just watched a new Devo documentary on Netflix. Also going to talk some new artists. This new band I listen to called Surf Hat. They're pretty cool. So tune into that. That's going to probably come sometime in the next couple days. And just really appreciate you tuning into that. And your guys' show was really, really awesome this past week. Tell them about the Frame to Frame.
Yeah, thanks, man. So me and Cotton did Frame for Frame, our second episode, and we did the comparison of the 1976 Bad News Bears versus the 2005 remake. You can kind of guess how that went. But it was cool. I mean, I love talking movies with Cotton. He has a different perspective than me and you completely. But really good conversation there. I really enjoyed the James Bond show yesterday. I rewatched it today because I was going in and out because I was actually working last night when you guys were doing it. So I really enjoyed it. I watched it again today. Shout out to Adam, man, with his pets. It's always hard to lose a pet. There's a little montage for him that we made for a short. If you want to check it out, the pictures that he made was awesome, though.
They were. He sent them to me, and things have been so busy too at work that even I was putting them together right before, and I'm like, I gotta get this right. And he sent me 8 photos, and I was only able to get 7 because one of them was the file size was so big I couldn't even attach it to my email or anything, and I didn't have time. But it's really cool little piece, so please check that out. Really appreciate that.
Please check it out. So that's what we've been doing. That's what's upcoming. I know there is a Drafty Pod coming soon again from Brian. Be sure to check us out at Sadistic Penguin Studios.
And that's going to be, I believe, Tuesday, which I'm going to be on with Johnny from the Bums. And I believe we're going to be picking the greatest 80s albums of all time, which, I got a lot of homework to do there. So that should be fun.
Cool. Be sure to check that out on our YouTube if you're listening audioly. Be sure to leave us some reviews if you can on your favorite podcast app. It helps branch us out to other podcasts and makes our audience grow. Thank you for everybody who supported us. We are over 800 subscribers now, on our track to 1,000. Thank you everyone who's been supporting us. Thank you everyone who's bought merch, messages us. Shout out to mailman Jack, who's always giving us some good hilarious one-liners in the morning. And with that, Tone, let's close this out, my friend, with the Sugar Baggies soundtrack pick of the week.
Let's do it.
The Sugar Baggies soundtrack pick of the week.
Before I get to my soundtrack pick of the week, when I got kicked off here a little while ago, I got some audio of myself here. I'm going to play it.
Talk to me, damn it, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fire! You stupid bitch!
Okay, all right. Soundtrack pick of the week. We are getting into the Halloween season, so I decided to pick I was trying to think of a horror soundtrack, and I have not talked about this one from 2003, Freddy versus Jason, on Roadrunner Records.
Place your bets.
20 tracks. Honestly, alternative metal, new metal, metalcore, groove metal, gothic metal, industrial metal. All I remember is my buddy picked this up, and it was just a metal smorgasbord. starts off with a great little band. I don't know if you've ever listened to them, El Nino. They are really good. They are they got some cool stuff. They sing Spanish in some of their songs, which is really good. Also, you move down, you got Kill Switch Engage, you got Spine Shank, Mushroom Head, Slipknot, Hatebreed, Seven Dust is one of my favorite artists. Just some really, really, really good stuff. I mean, you got the singer from Faith No More with Sepultura. You got you end it with Typo Negative, and you got Lamb of God. You got In Flames. I mean, if you're a heavy metal fan, this soundtrack pretty much has a lot of what you can be looking for. The El Nino song, How Can I Live, was the soundtrack off of the movie, which was kind of crazy because I don't even remember this being a single being released. But the song's name and video is kind of cool because it talks about Elm Street in the song, which is interesting because going back to the James Bond songs, when you're actually saying the name, which would be a fun topic to do one time, is like in movies when they actually say the title in the movie, sometimes it could be cheesy. Like in this song, though, they do a good job. Have you ever heard this soundtrack yet?
Yes, I have.
I know you're not the biggest metal fan in the world.
No, but one thing I will say is, for one, Mushroom Head, I do have a personal story of Mushroom Head. For one, Jackie LaPanza is gorgeous. And I remember I was a freshman at U of I, and my friend Camille, who is really into metal, came into our dorm room and she asked us, "Hey guys, you want to go see this band called Mushroom Head?" And we're like, "What the hell is Mushroom Head?" So we went and watched it, and I was like, "Is this like Slipknot or?"
It's like Timu Slipknot, pretty much.
So I was like, "That was kind of like Slipknot." She's like, "No, they're Mushroom Head." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "All right." But yeah, Jackie LaPanza, I know everybody fell in love with her. I don't think she's in the band anymore, right?
I don't know much about Mushroom.
Yeah, but that's the only time I don't even know what music they were playing. So whenever I hear Mushroom Head, it always pops into my head of Camille yelling at me. He's like, "No, they're Mushroom Head." But yeah, the soundtrack isn't bad. I listen to metal, just not really, really hardcore into it, but I do listen to it. I'm a lover of all music's tone. Power Man 5000's in the soundtrack, and I like them. Lamb of God's on here. I think I never heard of El Nino though.
You know, another band you would actually should check out too, you might like, they're called Puya. Also sing, they got a lot of real cool metal songs, but they sing in Spanish, which gives it I like different things in music. You know what I mean? I like mixing your background into your songs too. You know what I mean? I think that's awesome. Yeah. So like definitely worth checking out. Switch real quick. What did you think of the movie?
It was okay. I just remember the place your bets all the time when the trailer played. That's all I remember. I love Robert Englund. I was kind of King Hodder's not the Jason in the film, which kind of sucked. But I thought it was okay done. It was, for what it was all right. Seeing Robert Englund as Freddy is always nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But that is my soundtrack pick of the week.
Cool, man. So that is our show for the week. Let us know what you think. We'll be back next week for a new show, and the train and the truck keeps on moving. Might have an announcement next week for some October stuff, so be sure to check that out. With that, we'll be seeing you guys next week. Take it easy.
Thanks for listening to the At the Show podcast, a Sadistic Penguin Studios production.
Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Maybe we could build a fire, sing a couple of songs, huh? Why don't we try that?